Hey there everyone, Matt Erickson, VP of Marketing for National Positions and also Marketing Contributor for AdBeacon. I'm coming today with another AI tutorial, but this is for a very specific situation I keep running into. I work with a lot of social media teams, and when they talk about we need more creatives, because I came from a design background, my brain is always thinking, well, go ahead and go create more creatives. Point is there can often be a bottleneck if you have very limited assets and you're trying to have more creatives to A/B test to find out what's going to work and what's not going to work. But being in the world of AI we're now living in, I believe there's a lot of opportunity to be able to make more creatives to work with off very limited assets. Because if you're trying to get thumb stopping and you only have a handful of things to work with, it's good to have options. So I'm going to go through a couple of options ranging from free to a few bucks a month that you can get in and create something new that will hopefully give you maybe a fresh perspective on what you can do. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so here we go. So first of all, just to let you know, I'm not going to steal anyone's images. I'm actually working off of a Midjourney image, just with the idea of this image right here. If we just had some company that had these kind of cool looking chairs here. So the first tool I'm going to use is called Adobe Firefly. It's free, and the basic idea here is going to be this, is that if I needed to take that image and let's say, just depending on what geography I was going to be in, if I wanted to put a different background in, if I wanted to change it from a daytime to a sunset shot or something like that, that's what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm using Adobe Firefly. This one again is free to use. I'm sure you can upgrade it. I never have. I've never had a need to. And the tool I'm going to be using here is Generative Fill. This is easy to use. Again, if you're not a designer, don't glaze over. This is easy as you know, coloring in between the dots or just connecting the dots. It's very simple. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click generate. From here, I'm going to go ahead and upload that image right here. Let's let that upload. And there we go. So first things first is really all I want to do is I want to take, let's say instead of, again, a daytime shot, I want to take this and turn it into a sunset shot. Here's what I'm going to do. All I'm going to do is you have this little insert, you know, you can see where I'm on here is this little circle. I'm just going to paint in the entire background. Just going to click and drag. I'm not going to get perfect right now. I'm just going to make it as close as possible. Let's speed this up a little bit. Okay, we're back, and that will work for right now. So I'm just going to paint out that whole background. And then down here at the bottom, you have this option here. It's describe the image you want to generate. So I'm just going to put a golden sunset. Keep it pretty basic right now. Hit generate, and let's see how we do. So you can see that now we have a, this kind of sunset image behind here. I can cycle through a few different versions. Don't like that one. And go, that one actually looks pretty nice. So again, this might just be a way to go, hey, let's just add a little bit of variation to this. And if you wanted to have one in the daytime, one in the evening time, one at sunset, and you wanted to just test those, you could do that. And then from there, let's say it was this one, all I have to do is hit keep. When you go ahead and download it, it's going to say that it's going to, there we go, moving this thing out of the way, that it's going to put a little stamp on it saying this is an AI image, whatever. You can always kind of crop that out if you want to, because again, you're just kind of doing a thing with the background. But if I go ahead and open this up now, now I have this image that, let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see it here. But basically in the lower left-hand corner here, you can see it says Adobe Firefly. But you could always, crop that and just use the part you want. So anyways, that's the way if you had a limited images, you can go ahead and smack a different background in there and test those out. So let's get on to something a little more interesting. Welcome to one of my favorite AI tools, especially when it comes to the image and visual side of it, which is Runway. I've messed with Kyber, I've messed with Runway, I've messed with Firefly. Of course, you just saw Firefly, but Runway has really been breaking the ground into the video side. So if you wanted a new background, let's say you had a pair of Ray-Bans and you just literally wanted to have some kind of, a field in the country of just some moving, trees, you could just type the text in here and it'll give you that. It'll give you what you wanted. So it's pretty amazing. But what we're going to do is we're going to go with images. And the idea being here I'm not saying we want to use video to make some crazy video that's going to actually turn people off. Just a little bit of movement might be enough to make customers actually catch their attention as they're going through their feed. You're going to go into Runway, and again, you can try it for free. It's fairly cheap. I'm on the upgraded, but who cares? But all you're going to do here, they have a ton of tools. We're just going to go start with an image. So all I'm going to do here is this gives you the ability to do a lot of zooming and moving around of your imagery. One thing that I have noticed is, since AI is rebuilding images when you use them, that if you just expect to upload an image and then have it do like a 3D pan around the image, it's probably not going to happen because it's having to rebuild it, so it's going to get all wonky. So rather than go there, which you're welcome to play with, in fact, at the bonus at the very end, I'll try to do a little zoom and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to start with that image. Now, just like before, when you could paint it out, there's this feature called Motion Brush, which is what I'm going to use. Tap anywhere to begin. Here we go. Okay, so all I'm going to want to do on this one is I just want to give the clouds here some movement. That's all I want to do. So all I'm going to do is, again, using my little brush here, I'm going to paint out. I'm going to paint over the clouds. And let me speed this up and come back. Okay, and there we go. We've kind of painted in the patchwork that we want here. Now, the whole idea is I just want these clouds to be moving. I don't want the image to go crazy. I just want enough movement that it might catch someone's eye. So now I'm just going to take this little horizontal slider and move it to the right a little bit. Not going to worry about how much. I'm just playing right now. So once I'm done there, all I'm going to do is hit save. And here we go. Now it's going to generate in just little 4-second segments. You can always extend this, but if you're thinking like a GIF kind of carousel kind of image, that's what we're going for. So I'm going to hit generate and let's see what happens. All right. Usually takes a couple of minutes. So we're back. So this is the image we just had here. So let's see what we have now. So keep your eye on the clouds that we just painted in. And now we have this nice, just little bit of movement going on with the clouds here that if you were going through a feed, and again, you're not manipulating the actual core product image. You're not doing any of that. You're just focusing on other elements that aren't going to mess your image up, but might actually catch your eye a little bit more. Make sense? Hopefully it does. Okay, just for fun, I'm not going to cut this. We're going to keep this in. I'm going to show you, this could work very well or work very badly when you actually just use the image carte blanche and just let AI do its thing. So this is going to either show you why you should use it to do what I'm going to show you, or maybe why you should not use it. I think that we get into a mode of being very resistant against new tech sometimes, which is kind of funny. And especially when with AI tech, because we see everything that it can't do correctly, rather than focus on the few things it can do very well. So let's go ahead and get into actually doing some camera movement. This is a little more advanced, but if you like it, it's easy to do. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start with the exact same image we had, which you can see I've uploaded right there. And rather than this motion brush, I'm just going to click on camera motion. It's right next to it. Hey, and again, if this is getting too deep, this is actually not difficult at all. But if it's getting a little too deep, I totally understand. So what's going to happen here is this is going to give you a whole slew of tools. We're not going to go over all of them, but all I'm going to want right now is where it's slowly zooming in. That's all I want to happen, okay? So I'm just going to see where it says zoom right here. I'm just going to drag that up a little bit, just a tiny bit, save, and then hit generate, and let's see what happens. All right, we are finishing up here, so fingers crossed. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom it in a little bit here. We have this, don't worry about this clipping at the bottom, that's a different thing. We have this slow zoom in that's really not changing the product image at all, which is fantastic. So again, this could just be enough movement. You could do this at a deeper level. I'm so glad that this worked. I was not planning on this working at all. But this gives you another way to, hey, we're going to do a product image, but we only have this one creative, but now we're going to have a version. There's a slow push in on it. We have some movement in the background. We can even change the background to a sunset, whatever we want. We can test out different things. So you can see, hopefully, that just playing, and I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just very, very curious. So if you're someone who can, just get in and because you know probably the hardest part of being someone who's running campaigns, but then saying we need other creatives, is you're trying to focus on hammering out revenue and profits and scaling and pumping. You're trying to get this done and trying to put your head in the place of, let me get 8 ideas for a designer and send it through to your design team and then wait a week to get everything back can be just like pulling teeth. I completely understand it, having been on both sides. But using tools like Adobe Firefly and Runway, and I'm sure a smattering of other tools out there, can give you some variations to use that maybe you would have never have thought of before. Okay, I know there was a lot. I know it's a lot that we went through, but I want you to consider this. I mean, I did design 15 years ago. I'm definitely not a designer anymore. However, I am someone who likes to find solutions. And if you're in that spot, whether you're a one-person freelancer doing your own thing, you kind of have to wear every hat. I've been there, I get it. Or if you're part of an agency and you have a team and you just know that there's a time lag in trying to get new creatives, or you're trying to get a hold of your client to get new creatives, it's excruciating because all you want to do is get going and you want to get things working, but you just don't have the assets. This can be a way, if nothing else, you could maybe produce half a dozen new assets, send them to your client proactively and say, hey, love the images that you have. What do you think of these? I really want to test these and see how they do. I think your clients will like it. Hopefully your campaigns will love it. And I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you have any questions, you can feel free to message me, hit me up in the comments. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.